Hello friends, welcome to A Nurse in the Kitchen. This is your friend Nurse Maggie. I don't have my chef's hat today, but it is Chef Maggie, Nurse Maggie. I am bringing you this weekly video. Today I have been up and down all around town getting ready for a funeral tomorrow, so I'm not in the kitchen. But since this channel is about cooking and nursing, I thought today we could just do a little nursing chat. And what came to mind, first of all, how was your week? Today's Friday. I know it's busy. I was busy with school and just trying to balance all these balls. And you know, as nurses, especially women, we are pretty good at multitasking. So I am grateful for that. I had a pretty good week. Nothing unusual happened, and I thank the Lord for giving me health and breath, and I hope you as well. You know, one little nugget of wisdom someone told me one time, it says, if you get up every morning thanking God for what you have, the positives in your life, regardless of the circumstances, it sets you up for being grateful and thankful, and gets you ready for the day ahead and all the trials that might come your way. So what are we going to talk about today? As I told you, I've been a nurse for over 30 years. I graduated in 1984. I'm thinking about way back when. Some of you weren't even born yet. I know that for a fact, so that's okay. But I think I still look pretty good for a 60-year-old. Thank you to the Almighty. 32 plus years of nursing, and originally I wanted to be a doctor, and I told you that. But you know, I think God puts you where He wants you to be. And one other thing I learned is you want to learn to bloom wherever you're planted. Another abstract thought is when life gives you lemon, you learn to make lemonade, and you can make pretty good lemonade. So being flexible and accepting and thankful, and being able to embrace what comes and run with it and make the best of anything is a gift. But you know, you also can learn to have a thankful and joyful spirit. It takes about 3 weeks, some wise person says, to develop the new habit. So let's say you are not someone who likes to be thankful, and you say, okay, I'm going to learn this skill. So every single day, maybe you want to put it in your phone to say, name 5 things you're thankful for. And by golly, you're going to find 5 things you're thankful for, correct? The beauty about nursing is that you start and then you can branch out in so many directions. Just like cooking, you know, you start and then there are no limitations. The sky's the limit. You can be as creative, you can roll, you can change, you can adapt, you can grow. This is what makes nursing such a great profession. So what you're thinking about becoming a nurse, and there are no age limits. Remember, people in their 40s are going to nursing school. People in their 20s and late teens are going to nursing school. So it's got nothing to do with age, okay? You know that Florence Nightingale is all about, you know, the mother of nursing. It's caring for people, keeping them healthy, keeping them safe in a clean environment. I mean, when you think about it, it has not changed much. That's pretty much what we do. We heal, we get people back on their feet, and we try to keep them healthy in a safe and clean environment. Whether that environment is a hospital or home, and this is the thing, it changes. And your ability to adapt is going to make a difference on the kind of nurse that you are. So what are the key things that I think are important for you to be successful as a nurse? First of all, you have to have a deep concern for humankind. Okay? If you're so self-centered that everything is about you, your little nuclear family, your home, your community, and you don't care about anybody else, it's going to be really difficult for you to care for a population that is becoming as diverse as it can be. All right. So if you are just focused on one population or one ethnicity or one culture, you may not want to enter into nursing. Now, if you say, well, yeah, I live in, I don't know, a small town in Oregon, and that's where I'm going to spend the rest of my life, yeah, by all means. But chances are you may have people who are traveling through in that little town, and you're going to take care of them. So having a big global way of looking at the world, I think it's important. And how that could help you develop that thought process, travel. Just go around. I've met some people when I came to Florida who had not left their town. They had not been on a plane. They had not been anywhere. Okay, how are you going to relate to someone from Bangladesh? I'm just saying Bangladesh because that's what's in the news this week, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So you need to travel, watch the Learning Channel, the Discovery Channel, read, watch documentaries, so you kind of get a feel for like the world is a huge place. And our definition of health is our own. It doesn't necessarily match with somebody else's. The other thing that's important for you, number 2, to have, in addition to having a global perspective on humanity and having a big heart and caring about them, is your ability to embrace other cultures. Now, I know it might be hard for some of you, but I've always told nurses that I've supervised or managed, I said, at the end of the day, this patient that you're looking at is a human being. Regardless of where they're at right now, regardless of what language they speak, regardless of baggage they may bring, that could be addiction, it could be language, it could be very negative health habits. I have to peel off those layers and then see, okay, this is a person who needs me right now. What can I do to nurture that person back to health? How can I engage the family? Let's say you're a pediatric nurse. You know how important it is to get the mom and the parents and everybody on board. Your ability to build consensus, your ability to peel away and to get rid of the noise and just get back to the issue at hand, which is health and healing and peace and quiet, is important. Okay? The other thing that I think would make you a super nurse is having a high dose of empathy. Now, I told you before, empathy and sympathy are two different things. If somebody breaks their leg right there and you say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that's sympathy. But empathy goes one step further to say, I feel your pain. And when you get to that level, it takes effort. It takes conscious effort to try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes so you can see the world through their lens. See what I'm saying? So empathy will carry you through those really tough days. And I was watching another video where somebody said they told you that nursing was stressful. They were like 6 months into their, it was 2 nurses, into being GNs and transitioning into the nursing role. And they're like, yep, they didn't lie. Yep, it's stressful. I'm not gonna lie to you. It will always be stressful. You may have a few good days, the way nursing is going right now. So I think the hard or challenging days are more the norm than those easy, quiet, uneventful days. So, empathy, seeing the bigger picture, and also being able to see the positive in any situation. That is a good one. Okay? Because, let me tell you, you're going to engage with some managers who are not very nice. You're going to engage with some coworkers who are a piece of work. And think the worst thing is that you're going to have to work with them every single day. Maybe every week, let's say, 2 or 3 days a week. That's a lot for somebody to be dealing with someone who is negative, who is really not a pleasant person to be around. How do you rise above that? Okay? So you almost have to look at that person like a patient and be able to peel those layers that I said before. Let me tell you one little tip that someone, I try to listen. That's why I love those little old people, because if somebody is 90 years old, I like to sit at their feet and just listen because they're full of wisdom. This person said, the ability to put yourself in someone's shoes is really a unique skill. So when you're dealing with somebody who is difficult, there is one little tip. Try to make excuses for their behavior. Not that it's good to do that. You're trying to save your own soul. You're trying to make it to that chef. So let's say this person comes at you and said something really nasty that is totally unwarranted, or just, flicked you off and, just totally inappropriate. I mean, the human response would be to give it right back, right? No. To preserve your soul, your sanity, and your homeostasis, try to think, you know what? Maybe she's having problems at home. Maybe she's having marital issues. In your head, you don't have to verbalize that now. So try to make excuses for that person's behavior. And that makes it easier for you to deal with them. I don't know if you've tried that, but I found that has worked for me. Because once I said, well, she's having a bad day, I leave it right there and I move on. I'm not carrying her trouble, her baggage with me. No. I'm like, okay, she's having a bad day. Maybe that moment is not the time for you to deal with that nurse or that whoever it is, but you can go back and say, is there anything I can do for you? Or try to do something nice for them. Kill them with kindness. It works. It works. Okay, so that makes it a little easier. The other thing you need to do or be if you're going to survive in this environment is the first thing I said in this video is to practice being grateful. If you say you get up in the morning and you have a long shift ahead of you and you say, I am grateful for being alive. I am grateful I have my faculties, my senses. I'm awake. I'm alert. I can walk. Thank you, Lord. I'm going to have a great day. Some people start with meditation. Some people read the Bible. Whatever it is, you need to get yourself into a spirit of positivity, a spirit of expectation that you're going to be in a good place. Another thing that has helped me a lot is, like I said, I think I said in another video, is to celebrate the small things. I used to think when I was growing up that, I'm going to grow up to be somebody special, extraordinary. Well, I'm not. So I had to learn to celebrate the small things, being happy where you are. It's like, I like my house. I like being in my house. No, it's not a mention, but I like it and I'm grateful, I'm thankful. That keeps me from being envious of the neighbors, of the Joneses, of the one driving the Bentleys. Hey, the Bentley takes you to work, my Toyota takes me to work, so what's the big deal? Okay? And I think as you get older, you kind of learn this type of wisdom that happiness is not found in things. Okay? Like I said, contentment is what your goal should be. To be happy where you are, with who you are. That doesn't mean you don't keep on growing. That doesn't mean you don't have goals and aspirations. So celebrate the small thing would be, you go into patient's room. Good morning, Mrs. Jones. This is Maggie. I'm going to be your nurse today. How was your night? And she said, oh, I had a miserable night. first thing you say? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Empathy, sympathy, okay? Eye contact. Make sure when you're doing the eye contact that it's the real thing coming out of your eye, not that you're looking at them thinking about, oh my God, I have 5 other patients. I have to do this admission. I have a discharge. Be present with every patient encounter. Try to be present. Try to communicate some type of empathy. Try to alleviate, whether it's pain, whether it's discomfort, whether it's fear. Oh my God, it is so easy to do. You grab somebody's hand, you hold it for 10 seconds. You may have 5 or 6 patients, but you can't afford to hold somebody's hand for 10 seconds. Yes, no excuses, okay? Like I said, be present. Somebody said, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. How long would it take you to just take a pillow, turn that person to the side, rub their back, and put the pillow? 20 seconds? You can do this. See, we get so bogged down with the details and the noise, we forget the person. And you know, at the end of the shift, you could have given that person 3 Dilaudid. You could have given that person all kinds of medication. Do you know she will remember that back rub? She'll remember that. She'll talk about it even after discharge. So take the time. Nuggets, small moments. Another thing that has helped me is just to keep my expectations in check. Don't go into a job with stars in your eyes thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so beautiful. I'm going to encounter these wonderful doctors who never yell and are always complimentary and are very professional. Well, I hate to burst your bubbles, but that rarely happens. Trust me, we do have some wonderful docs, but some of them are not very nice. What I found that has worked for me as a nurse is not to be intimidated by doctors, okay? Yes, I am a nurse. Yes, I didn't go to school for 12 years, but I am a professional. Make sure you know your stuff. Make sure you know your patients. When you're talking to the doctor, when you're calling the doctor, have your data in hand. There's nothing annoying to a doctor, and I'm going to be a nurse practitioner. I would be annoyed if somebody calls me to tell me Mrs. So-and-so is not feeling good, and then I say, what are the vitals? And you say, oh, I didn't take them. See, you're setting yourself up for this doctor to really be ticked off. Right? Come on. So be prepared. Know your stuff. Put some DVDs and CDs in your car. If there is something that you think you're a little bit shaky on, whatever topic it is, my God, they have so much out there. You can listen to it while you're jogging, while you're running. Listen to this stuff. Stop listening to Jay-Z and Brianna. They've got their millions. What are you doing? They've got their millions already. Okay? Don't envy those people. A lot of them are very unhappy. You're lucky that you have a job that you could do that brings you and others happiness. So think about those things that I mentioned today. And if you are a senior in high school or you're a freshman in college, I encourage you to take those aptitude tests to see how your brain function. You know, some people are extroverts, some are introverts, some people are people person, and that's important too to be a nurse. You need to be able to relate to people. We mentioned that earlier. If you like to be by yourself and not deal with the population, but you shouldn't be a nurse. Maybe you need to be a scientist and look at in microscopes, right? That we need you. We need people like you. Just not, at the bedside. And we can talk about later on about all the different career paths you can take in nursing. But think about the basic qualification, the basic things that will make you, if you don't have them, there's some other stuff I mentioned, and you still want to go to nursing, you can still be a great nurse. You may have to work a little harder, at developing those skills, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the self-growth and empowerment thing that you're doing, because it's commendable that we all want to be better people, right? So take those aptitude tests just to see where you fall. And there's so many of them. And those career pathway people, counselors should be able to point you in the right directions. At the end of the day, you can be grateful that if you choose nursing as a path, as a career, that you are going to be impactful. Some people go on to become physicians, some people go on to become nurse practitioners, some people go on to become PAs. The sky's the limit. You can be a researcher, you could be a school nurse, you could be a home health nurse. I mean, my God, we have so many opportunities. And we still need more. We need thousands more nurses, because the average age of the nurse right now is like 49. So we are going up, up in years. And the average tenure of the nurse who stays in the clinical setting is just getting smaller and smaller. Most people just stay there for a couple of years and then they move on. So we need to be bringing in more, young blood and the new kids. I know we have a lot of work to do. There is this thing about nursing eating their young. There are the thing about the physician-nurse relationships, and plus just the stress of the job. The job situation, not situation, but just the work environment has changed so much. It is so multifaceted and we have so many challenges. But you can do this. You just need to get yourself in the best position that you can to do the best job that you can, because when you go home exhausted, you need to feel like, oh, I did the best that I could for my patients today. And you know what? No one can ask you to do any more. My personal motto has always been, whatever I do, whether I was in the restaurant, whether I was a director of nursing, whether I'm a supervisor. This is another topic I'm going to probably teach you, give you some nuggets about how to be an effective supervisor, a nursing supervisor. But I have been blessed to just enjoy what I do. I need people who, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, oh, I quit nursing, this and that, and I feel so bad, because, and I'm like, oh, we lost another one. What could we have done to prepare this person to be able to handle the pressures and the challenges? All right, my peeps, I'm going to stop right here. I have to get to cooking, but I'm so thankful that you're listening. Next week, definitely we're going to be making those stocks we talk about, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be able to start cooking there's so many things I want to teach you guys. It's just amazing. So thank you again for hanging with me, for listening to me. I'm so thankful for this channel. I'm a little bit challenged in doing the editing. Oh, this is not for sissies. But because I'm not really technically inclined, that's the problem. But, I'm going to make it. I'm going to get better. So I am grateful for the opportunity, and I hope that you can come back and tune in again next time. Thank you. I love you. God bless you. Au revoir. À la prochaine.